Our challenge today is our Son. Universal mystery. Guide us away from the desire to shine light in all the corners.
Teach us to embrace the night, for without the darkness, we never see the stars.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to our poetry service. I'm Bruce Langston and I'm happy and humbled to be your worship associate today. On behalf of the UUMAN members participating in and contributing to the service today, I welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, which we affectionately call UUMAN. A liberal religious community, UUMAN is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. UUMAN's mission is to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. Our vision is that UUMAN is a vital and visible community for all, bravely working towards the day when social, economic, and environmental justice are a reality. So let us prepare for worship, quieting ourselves. Be here now in this virtual space with each other, remembering that we are all a part of the vast interconnected web of creation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are from, and wherever you are on your faith or spiritual journey, you are welcome at UUMAN. After the service, please join us for an online virtual coffee hour with conversation. The link is on the homepage at UUMAN.org.
Our call to worship this morning is by poet David White from his short book of essays called Consolations, the solace, nourishment, and underlying meaning of everyday words. Vulnerability. Vulnerability is not a weakness, a passing indisposition, or something we can arrange to do without. Vulnerability is not a choice. Vulnerability is the underlying, ever-present, and abiding undercurrent of our natural state. To run from vulnerability is to run from the essence of our nature. The attempt to be invulnerable is the vain attempt to become something we are not, and most especially, to close off our understanding of the grief of others. More seriously, in refusing our vulnerability, we refuse the help needed at every turn of our existence and immobilize the essential, tidal, and conversational foundations of our identity. To have a temporary, isolated sense of power over all events and circumstances is a lovely, illusionary privilege, and perhaps the prime and most beautifully constructed conceit of being human, and especially of being youthfully human. But it is a privilege that must be surrendered with that same youth, with ill health, with accident, with the loss of loved ones who do not share our untouchable powers, powers eventually and most emphatically given up as we approach our last breath. The only choice we have as we mature is how we inhabit our vulnerability, how we become larger and more courageous and more compassionate through our intimacy with disappearance. Our choice is to inhabit vulnerability as generous citizens of loss, robustly and fully, or conversely, as misers and complainers, reluctant and fearful, always at the gates of existence, but never bravely attempting to enter, never wanting to risk ourselves, never walking fully through the door.
Now is the time in the service when the love that binds us together is spoken aloud. Sue Goodman is remembering her father who passed away a year ago on the 29th. Sue misses her dad every day and says he was such a good man. Tanya Ramine reports that a high school friend took a fall while home alone and suffered a traumatic brain injury. Cardiac problems have now presented. The current prognosis is not what the family wants to hear. Please keep Butch and his family in your hearts as they walk a difficult journey. Melinda Mischik and her family are grateful for the joy their dog, Hermione, provided for almost 17 years and are full of sorrow that she is no longer with them. Patty and I are sad that our friend and local musician, Debbie Schroet, passed away this week unexpectedly. Some of you know Debbie, and as Patty says, Debbie was a beautiful soul who sang like an angel. She was a member at Unity North and will be missed by many. Pat Calhoun's son-in-law's nephew, Jack McLean, a 21-year-old young man, on July 7th, suffered a massive hemorrhage in his brain. He has been in ICU since then, totally paralyzed on his right side and under sedation as they remove a large portion of his skull to allow the swelling to subside. Prognosis was not good. There's been good news in the past 2 days. He's still paralyzed and unable to talk, but he is awake and aware of people in the room and watched his family on FaceTime. Please send your thoughts and prayers his way. He is an exceptionally fine young man and adored by his family. From visitors Denise, Chris, and Todd Wilson. Todd would appreciate dropping a stone this Sunday for gratitude for his successful surgery and continued recovery. And I'll drop another pebble for those joys and sorrows not shared. May we keep each other in our hearts until we're together again.
When you take a step back and really look at what's happening on Earth, it's terrifying. Remember by Joy Hojo. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember that sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life, and her mother's, and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember.
Tiny orchestra. Within a wooded place I walk is yet a brook-fed pool I chance to find. In stepping off the well-worn path, as per my soul, leads me entwine. It's here I like to look and listen for a music quietly given. Rock and water beats the time, toots and brays, sounds the chimes, chirps and clucks, pulls and plucks. And for a novel movement learned, I tried a different vantage point so as to hear this dainty philharmonic sampling with a finer understanding. Up along the bank I stepped, careful not to lose my footing. Age imperils all like me, since falls now taken, like the leaves from the trees, leaves us lying, leaves us dying. And gazing down by grace, I found some tiny leaves locked in a twirling, helpless dancing, whirlpooled souls locked in a circling, denied the current's final answering. And mustering a soothing tact in hopes of touching cries unheard, I took the stick 'twas lying near and eased them toward the rushing clear. One by one given toe, each leafy soul toward watery flow. I saw them go, I heard them play, my kind baton sent all that way.
Don't breathe next to me. You might get me sick. Your nose is so red that it looks like a brick. Your eyes are all puffy. You're sneezing a lot. I'm leaving the room. I don't want what you've got. Don't cough when I'm here. You might pass it on. For goodness sakes, cover your mouth when you yawn, and don't touch my food, lest your cooties adhere, thus making me sick for the rest of the year. The last thing I need is a cold or a flu, and so I am thinking I'll bid you adieu. I'm much better off wherever you're not. Don't breathe next to me. I don't want what you've got.
Elijah McClain. I couldn't believe what I heard on the news. It was like hearing of the tragic death of a close friend. Tears fell from deep in my soul when I heard his pleas. Let go of me, I am an introvert. Please respect the boundaries I am speaking, as they put him in a chokehold, cutting off the blood supply to his brain. Then a shot of ketamine to control this gentle soul. There were 3 of them, and he was only one. Killed by police while walking home, enjoying his music. A spiritual seeker, pacifist, oddball, vegetarian, athlete, and peacemaker, exceedingly gentle. Killed by police while walking home with iced tea for his brother. I imagine the terror he must have felt while being wrestled to the ground, fight or flight response kicking in. A responsible and curious child who could inspire the darkest soul. He had a childlike spirit. He was just who he was. Killed by police while walking home from the store. I felt the universal anguish of a mother, and I wept the unfallen tears of 400 years of standing by and doing nothing. He was my brother, my son, my grandson.
Let me think. When I was talking with Maria about doing something this evening, I just jotted something in my journal, really. And I told her I wanted to read Walt Whitman, and but I just sort of sent this thing too. And she said, "Oh, read that, read that." And I said, "I don't know. Usually I wait about 10 years before I read anything out loud. And this has been about a week." Anyway, I don't know anything about science. I've tried to read these books. My daughter, however, loves physics. I don't understand that. But I was trying to get her to explain to me what the singularity is. And I was reading Hawkins, of course, and then I was trying to read Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. I said to her a few weeks ago, "I don't believe in the Big Bang." And she said, "You don't?" I said, "No, it's impossible." Who here really believes that we were all, everything that ever is, was once a singularity so dense it was one thing before it blew up? Raise your hands. Okay? See, just like not that many over there. So here it is, the singularity. Do you sometimes want to wake up to the singularity we once were? So compact, nobody needed a bed, or food, or money. Nobody hiding in the school bathroom, or home alone, pulling open the drawer where the pills are kept. For every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you. Remember? There was no nature, no them, no tests to determine if the elephant grieves her calf, or if the coral reef feels pain. Trashed oceans don't speak English or Farsi or French. Would that we could wake up to what we were when we were ocean. And before that, when earth was sky, and animal was energy, and rock was liquid, and stars were space, and space was not at all, nothing. Before we came to believe humans were so important. before this awful loneliness. Can molecules remember it? What once was, before anything happened? Can our molecules remember? No I, no we, no one, no was, no verb, no noun yet, but only a tiny, 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 tiny dot brimming with is, all, everything, home. Thank you.
This is Vahatva by Aurora Levins Morales. Say these words when you lie down, and when you rise up, when you go out, and when you return, in times of mourning and in times of joy. Inscribe them on your doorposts, embroider them on your garments, tattoo them on your shoulders, teach them to your children, your neighbors, your enemies, recite them in your sleep. Here in the cruel shadow of empire, another world is possible. Thus spoke the prophet Roque Dalton. Altogether they have more death than we, but altogether we have more life than they. There is more bloody death in their hands than we could ever wield, unless we lay down our souls to become them, and then we lose everything. So instead, imagine winning. This is your sacred task. This is your power. Imagine every detail of winning, the exact smell of the summer streets in which no one has been shot, the muscles you have never unclenched from worry, gone soft as newborn skin, the sparkling taste of food when we know that no one on earth is hungry, that the beggars are fed, that the old man under the bridge and the woman wrapping herself in thin sheets in the back seat of a car, and the children who suck on stones, nest under a flock of roofs that keep multiplying their shelter. Lean with all your being towards that day when the poor of the world shake down a rain of good fortune out of the heavy clouds, and justice rolls down like waters. Defend the world in which we win as if it were your child. It is your child. Defend it as if it were your lover. It is your lover. When you inhale and when you exhale, breathe the possibility of another world into the 37.2 trillion cells of your body until it shines with hope. Then imagine more. Imagine rape is unimaginable. Imagine war is a scarcely credible rumor. Then the crimes of our age, the grotesque inhumanities of greed, the sheer and astounding shamelessness of it, the vast fortunes made by stealing lives, the horrible normalcy it came to have, is unimaginable to our heirs, the generations of the free. Don't waver. Don't let despair sink its sharp teeth into the throat with which you sing. Escalate your dreams. Make them burn so fiercely that you can follow them down any dark alleyway of history and not lose your way. Make them burn clear as a starry drinking gourd over the grin fog of exhaustion, and keep walking. Hold hands, share water, keep imagining, so that we and the children of our children's children may live.
As the world around us has changed in recent months, so has humans' ways and means. and we still need and thankfully welcome our members' time, treasure, and talent. If you feel so moved, contribute at givelify.com or use the app on your phone. Now is a great time. We give thanks for the offering generously given by our members. May we apply it carefully, appropriately, and generously.
We extinguish this chalice here that it might glow gently in our hearts.
May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again.
May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.